the Americas. Excited for you guys to join me today to learn more about Alta Labs. We've been around for a couple years now, and we're growing tremendously. And the adoption rate of our products have been amazing all over the world. We're in multiple projects, so I'm excited to tell you guys a little bit about what makes us different. So I won't go too much into the hardware piece, but I'll touch mostly on what makes us different than other brands. So, as I mentioned, we've been around for a couple of years now, founded in 2022, but our parent company, when we first launched, was Sound Vision Technologies. They've been around for about 24 years now. They're big in the home audio video space. They make high-end speakers, amplifiers for homes and businesses. But they were looking for a networking brand because a lot of their customers and installers are being pulled into the space because as you are installing a lot of uh, IoT devices into homes, networking solutions need to be more robust and more reliable to get those items working. So, with that, as people were pushing for our products and our brand to create a networking product, Alta Labs was created. So, a guy by the name of Ben Moore, he's been around for a while. When he left Ubiquity Networks, he joined Sound Vision Technologies as an owner and board member. And with Ben knowing, or with people knowing Ben, people were pushing Ben to get a networking brand into the space, into the market. So another guy I would like to highlight is Jeff Hansen. So he's our CTO. He's been in the space for a very long time as well. So his last place was the Ubiquity as well. He was the Unify lead for a number of years. Another guy that I'd like to highlight is Chris Buechler. He's been around for a very, very long time. He's the co-founder of PF Sense. So a lot of guys use their products for firewall routing, all that stuff. So with that, we are led by industry professionals that have been around for a very long time. I myself have been with a distributor, with you, lastly with Ubiquity as well, for 9 years. Helped launch a lot of the platforms in the space. But with that, we learned a lot of things from our time and experience with our previous employer, but we're coming out and making sure all those gaps that are being requested are being filled with Alta Labs, and we have fixed a lot of those things that we saw and learned that needed to be improved. So here are kind of the key differentiators that make us different than others, and why I invite you guys to try Alta Labs. So the biggest piece is the controller. There's a few hardware manufacturers out there, but the controller kind of sets us apart. It's one of the easiest controller that you'll be able to manage and use, and it's license free. There's no software fees. There's no licensing fees ever with the cloud. So that's available for you for free. There is real support. There's a free US base, unlimited support that you can call if there's any issues with our products or if you want to talk to a technical staff. So there's a phone number you can call, there's chat, email, text, whatever you guys want to do. That's available now. Our forum is very active as well with peers like your peers, your installers, as well as our engineers. So price to performance is huge. There's high performance products at a huge market disruptive price point. So we understand as a new brand, we wouldn't last past a few months if our product wasn't working. So now we're in going into year three now, and we're adding more SKUs because our product simply works and outperforms other brands in the space. Protected margin, we do have higher margins in this space compared to other manufacturers. There is a MAP policy in place where installers are guaranteed installer pricing, and then there's a gap between installer and MSRP. Anything you see online will be listed at MSRP with our authorized resellers. Product reliability is huge. Hardware and software designed and developed by industry legends. I mentioned a few of them already, but we heavily test our product before we launch. Specifically, not just our current product line, as you can see, but we're heavily testing our Wi-Fi 7 access points as well right now. We could have released it like everywhere, like everyone else, but we want to make sure it's a hardware that works and works right out of the gate. So a lot of the flaws or the complaints on the Wi-Fi 7 access points that are out there now is that you have to turn off 6 gigahertz for it to work properly, because there's not a lot of good support from that. So we want to make sure that's working well, especially with our hardware on one of the access points I'll mention here now is that the AP6 Pro has some Wi-Fi 7 benefits already, specifically the 4K quad modulation for the higher Wi-Fi capacity. So we're not in a rush because our Wi-Fi 6 competes with even some of the Wi-Fi 7 access points that are out there right now. We are community focused. We listen to our community, and we are very driven to work for you guys. So, any requests, feature requests, all that stuff, please send them our way. We're all over social media. Our online forum is huge, as I mentioned. And tomorrow we actually have a live event with our CTO and CEO. It's called Alta Labs Live. So make sure you follow our social media. You'll have a link that you can just watch and ask questions directly to our CEO, and you'll be able to interact with him on a one-on-one basis if needed. So ease of use, I touched on this already. Products are extremely easy to use. Some of the fastest installs in the market. We did a side-by-side competition with some of our competitors out there, and ours is definitely the fastest compared to kind of some of the brands out there like Ubiquiti, Aruba, Ruckus, I think, TP-Link, all that stuff. So I think the fastest was us was from adoption of the first access point to finish. It took us a little over 3 minutes for our products. The longest one, I believe, was TP-Link. It was over 9 minutes, closer to 10 minutes. So very long. So time is money as you're installing out there. We want to be able to get you guys into your project and out as quickly as possible. And we're able to do that with Alta Labs and using that with our software. Industry leading technology, specifically AltaPass. So it's a patented multi-password technology. You won't see this with any other brands out there. You only need one SSID, and the password is what gets you into network. What we did was we pre-categorized different groups. Once you throw these passwords into these groups or categories, you'll be able to set limitations based on that password. So I'll show that a little bit later as we walk through the controller, our live controller here shortly. So, as I mentioned, I won't touch too much on the speeds and feeds of our hardware, but I will let you know that we have an entire ecosystem available to purchase through your distributor, Epcom. So it's available now that you'll be able to use from start to finish. So initially, when we launch with 2 access points and 3 switches. So the AP6 is an indoor access point. AP6 Pro, as I touched on earlier, it does have that Wi-Fi 7 benefit. It is also IP54 rated, so it can be installed outdoors under an eave and overhang. And then we added on to that product line, we added our AP6 Pro Outdoor. It's IP68 rated, so it's fully, so you guys can fully expose it into the elements. You can install this anywhere outdoors, and it'll be properly um, fixing the element without any issues. So you'll be able to have this outdoors with no issues. The thermal specs on those are going to be definitely better than the AP6 Pro, but most of the mechanicals and everything on the inside are very similar to the AP6 Pro. The AP6W is our on-wall access point. This is for a smaller room, great for MDUs, great for hotels, or anywhere that needs a dedicated access point. It also has a PoE out, so you're able to have it power up other PoE devices as well. So it is a great tool to have as you're installing in your projects. And then on our switches, we have 8 port all the way to 48 port switches. So half of our PoE ports are going to be PoE plus, except the 24s. Those are going to be 16 PoE plus. And then the big one, the full PoE, the 48 port switch. So all those ports are PoE plus capable. 16 of those ports are going to be 2.5 gig ports, and the rest are going to be 1 gig ports. On the 48 ports, they also ship with SFP plus ports, so up to 10 gig connectivity on those. If you're looking for an all fiber switch, we're releasing and shipping that out here in the next week or so through our distributors. It's 12 ports of 10 gig connectivity, all fiber switches. So that's going to be available here very shortly. I'm excited. I'm pretty excited for those as you guys are looking for larger or aggregation switch to be able to manage the rest of your network with. So with that, I'll actually move over to our controller to show you guys kind of what makes us different than others on the controller and see how easy it is to use and manage. So jumping into the controller. So you just go to manage.alta.inc. You can sign in via Google, Apple, or email login. So this is a live environment. This is our headquarters. We have a lot of devices. We have a lot of network devices, which is going to be our Alta products. Client devices are any devices that are third-party devices connecting to the wireless network. Active applications are what is being used in your network. So our DPI engine is built into our access point, so you'll be able to see all these stats without needing to use our router. So we are router agnostic, so you can use anything and you'll see all this. However, we do have our own router now. So that's one thing that I forgot to mention is that we do have a Route 10 which is a 10 gig router. It ships with four 2.5 gig ports, and two of those ports are going to be PoE plus, and it also ships with two SFP plus ports as well. So you'll be able to do up to 10 gig on a router, on an Alta router. But in any case, you don't need a router to see all these stats. You'll be able to see all network activity. You can sort by hourly, day, couple days, 2 months. You'll see what kind of bandwidth is going through your network. Moving into settings real quick, with that DPI engine built in, you can do active filtering directly on our controller. Here you can see there's a lot of applications here. Red is a specific application, or blue is an entire category that you can block. If you don't see it on there, you can just block by domain as well and hit save, and you'll be good to go. So it's pretty sleek there, where you'll be able to use a lot of these features because the DPI engine is built into the access points themselves. The other feature I do want to highlight is our Alta Pass. So as I mentioned, you only need one SSID for any network. Just for example, we're going to do an SSID called test site. So once we have an SSID, what we did was we pre-categorized this for you, standard large IoT internet or guest. You type in your password, you select your category, you assign your VLANs by password, you can rate limit by password, you can max out devices by password. And if you have that filter on, as we just showed you, you can bypass that filter. This comes in handy when you don't want to abide by the same rules as maybe your kids in homes, or admins want other filtering rules than the employees that they have. So you can bypass filter based on the password. If you have a schedule, we'll just jump into the schedule real quick. So here you can turn on the schedule. And once you have the schedule turned on, you'll be able to turn on a time where it turns on the Wi-Fi or turn off the Wi-Fi, depending on what you're looking for. And once you have that on, now that schedule is set. But based on that password, you can ignore that schedule that you just set. So very simple. You don't have to abide by the same rules. Example again, in a home scenario, you don't want to abide by the same scheduling rules as your kids if you want to open Wi-Fi for 24/7. So, but you want to turn off your kids' Wi-Fi at a certain time. What makes us unique on the Wi-Fi schedule is you can actually request more time. So if if your kids are doing homework and they're going past 9 p.m. or whatever time you set for them, they can request more time because our SSID will continue to broadcast. However, if you're looking to block that, you can still block the SSID if needed. Multiple SSID is still available if that's what you're looking for. If you have multiple SSIDs, you can set it to 2 gig, 5 gig, or both. And if you have multiple SSIDs, this is what we do different as well. We have color groups available. All you got to do is set a color group for that SSID now. And if you go to the network tab, because you know exactly which SSID based on the color you set, you'll know exactly which AP is broadcasting which SSID based on colors. So that's a technology that you won't see with any other manufacturers as well, outside of just Alta Labs. So a pretty cool feature there. Jumping into settings again, uh, another feature that I do want to highlight is called carrier offloading. So we're the only one with this easy button here. Carrier offloading in Hotspot 2.0 isn't a technology just for Alta. It's available with other manufacturers, but it's very hard to set up into your controller or even access points. But with ours, as you can see, it's just an easy button. You can type in or click on that button and you'll be able to have Alta Boost XNet turn on in no time. What it is that AT&T, T-Mobile, Verizon, these guys are going to be able to offload cell data into to your Alta access point that you allow. And what they'll do is they'll pay you per gigabyte that they offer. So in a way, it works as two things. It helps you guys make extra income, a passive income, because they're paying you for per gigabyte. But also, it becomes a kind of a cell extension, cell booster for these carriers. It benefits them and you guys for a couple reasons. These cell carriers, it gets expensive to build out cell towers, right? And it's more efficient if there's a lot of customers out there using Alta access points anyways. And if they turn it on and offload it, it's going to be more reliable for the customers. I'll show you some case studies that we currently did real quick. So we did a case study with Chick-fil-A recently, and they're happy with the offload and the passive income that comes from it. I think they make between 350 or 300 to 500 bucks per location a month. But that's not why they added and started to use Alta Labs. They wanted to make sure their customer experience isn't flawed or compromised when they come to their property. What they want is when people drive into their parking lot, they want people to be able to open their app and order food. Or if they're inside their building, they want people to have Wi-Fi or connectivity so they can hang out and buy more food if needed as they're hanging out at the Chick-fil-A's. So this is great because the clients they benefit because they don't need to look for a Wi-Fi connection if their cell uh, coverage isn't the greatest. So this doubles as a kind of a cellular booster for the location. So as soon as they drive to their parking lot, they'll have awesome cell coverage. but also the offload piece as well that they're getting paid on a monthly basis. So here I'll show you a case study video that we did with Chick-fil-A, and I'll play that here shortly.
Harrison, CEO of Alta Labs. We're outside of one of our local Chick-fil-A restaurants where we recently worked with the local operator to do a bunch of network infrastructure upgrades. In discussing the project with him, we presented the idea of doing carrier offload in each of his locations. Once he understood how it enhanced his customer experience, where his customers, his patrons, would be able to walk into each restaurant and without having to do anything, would seamlessly roam onto a private, secure, and authorized network, which is authorized by their wireless carriers, which would provide great connectivity to browse social media, stream videos, and check emails while they ate. He was in. Each location has a combination of indoor and outdoor APs installed to assure maximum coverage around each property. The operator, in return for providing both the internet connection as well as the hardware, is now receiving hundreds of dollars per month per site in passive income. If you're interested in adding carrier offload to any of your projects, please email sales@alta.inc and a member of our sales team will be happy to answer questions you have.
That's one video with our case study with Chick-fil-A that I outlined. Here's another example of how the Alta Boost and carrier offloading works in a live scenario as well that I wanted to play for you guys.
Everyone, this is Chase Harrison, CEO of Alta Labs. I want to show you a real-world example of how Alta Boost is enhancing cell phone coverage without any additional costs or licensing fees. Here we have JD walking into our local Bmore complex. This facility is known for having very poor cell phone coverage for all carriers. Capable of hosting thousands of patrons on a busy tournament weekend, cell phone coverage is very important for this facility. From inside the basketball courts, before Alta Boost is enabled, as JD tries to place a call, you will notice it fails. Now, we will enable Alta Boost from the Alta Labs management platform. Within a matter of moments, you will notice that JD does not need to do anything from his side for his cell phone to recognize Alta Boost as an approved offload partner for his cell provider. Now, JD can try his call again and it completes successfully. He can also use this same connection to stream videos, check emails, and browse social media. Alta Boost can be used in any project of any size so long as you have correctly configured Alta Labs access points deployed. Thereafter, supported cell phones only need to be in range of the access points to have their coverage enhanced. If you have any questions on Alta Boost, we invite you to visit our knowledge base at help.alta.inc and search Alta Boost.
So yeah, that's hopefully helps you guys understand what Alta Boost is and what makes us different there. As I mentioned, we're the only ones with that easy button to be able to set that up pretty quickly. And you pair that with Alta Pass, which is our patented technology, as I mentioned, that one SSID. You can rate limit by password in the SSID, so you're not actually allowing AT&T to take all your bandwidth. So you can rate limit them, and so it doesn't bog down your current network, right? So great way there. So another one that I wanted to share, and going back into our presentation of what makes us different is the Alta Pass again in a live scenario. So here's a case study at the Notre Dame University. It's an MDU project for students for a student complex. They went from 70, I want to say 72 SSIDs to one SSID. And before the landlord wasn't able to monetize on the offering that they have. They just offer free Wi-Fi for everybody. But now with the Alta Pass and how you can rate limit by password, they're offering students to purchase higher packages, like 100 meg, 200 meg packages. And once they purchase that package, they're not tied down to their apartment complex. So now, once they leave their apartment complex and go to the common area or the fitness center, they're able to have that 100 megs or 200 meg package that they purchase wherever they go without having to log into a guest network downstairs because of Alta Pass. So it's great for the clients, great for the landlord in this scenario, but everybody benefits when Alta Pass is turned on into their network. As I mentioned, that's what it used to be, all those SSIDs, and now it's just one SSID. So they're able to roam everywhere. They'll still get that great coverage based on that. So I'll actually touch on a couple more things on our controller. Jumping into the controller on kind of what makes our hardware a little bit different than others. Bringing up an access point real quick, you'll be able to see all these colors because you are assigning colors and SSID based on the access point that based on the SSID you want to broadcast per access point. Here's one feature that I really like is this fallback upon failure. So you can make any changes. You can make if you go to set a static IP address and you type in the wrong address, instead of knocking down the network or access point, in this case, it's going to fall back to the last known working state of the access point, instead of knocking down the network. Another thing I really, really like is that you can make all these live changes in real time in working hours without fear of knocking down the network because of that feature. So, make any changes, make any setting adjustments that you would like. You can do a quick scan here without fear of knocking down the network. So here you can see a live environment bandwidth is being used. I was able to hit a quick scan and that came up. And I was able to use a part of the chipset to do these changes without fear of knocking down the network. Comes up very quickly. You'll be able to see specific channels for 2 gig, 5 gig, and then set those properly if you're going manual. With ours though, if you have it set as auto, you'll be able to uh, allow our controller to dynamically make changes on a nightly basis. So our access point will actually look through your entire network to make sure it is working properly each night, and making sure you're in the proper bandwidth channel, all that stuff to make it work reliably. So that's a great tool that you guys could have as well when it comes to using our products. Okay, coming into the switches real quick. Here's one of the switches I pulled up. You're able to manage each individual ports. You'll see colors as well. Pretty easy. Once you set a setting for a specific color that you like, you're able to make all these changes and assign specific ports based on the color settings for that port. So it's a pretty cool feature. So you're not having to set different settings every single time. You just basically set it by port. You can also rate limit by port. You can prioritize by traffic on the ports, and all that stuff based on the port. So you can reboot by port and make all these changes here on the controller. Very easy, as you can see, all the settings that you can make, all the changes you can make specific to the switches and the ports, all on our controller. So very easy to manage our router, our switches, all that stuff straight from your controller. Going to the settings, you'll be able to see your firewall if you have and set all those firewall rules. If you have a Route 10, so this won't work if you don't have a Route 10. So you will need this the Route 10 to see the firewall and have all these available changes for you that you can have. Map as well. We have a topology that you'll be able to see and manage all the devices if you want to look at it in a kind of a map scenario or a topology spine scenario. So pretty easy to see there. You're able to search specific items within the network as well here. If this is the preferred method as you're looking through your our entire network. Here on client devices, you'll see all your client devices pop in here. Now, the best part about this part is that you'll be able to manage each individual client devices. If you notice a client device that are it's kind of taking down your network or you hogging up a lot of the bandwidth, you'll be able to rate limit them or even turn off specifically straight from here. Um, let's see. But I think that's a lot of the stuff that I wanted to cover here. I didn't want the presentation to be too long. I don't want to touch on speeds and feed too much, but hopefully you've learned a couple of things here and there that to help you guys feel more comfortable in using Alta Labs. Last video that I do want to share, I'll go to our YouTube channel. So we do have a YouTube channel with tons of videos available. If you go to Alta Labs, you'll see a ton of videos, how-to tutorials, all that stuff. We create so much stuff for our community to make it even easier if you run into any issues. As you can see, here's one that I failed to mention is that we are AV friendly, so we are compatible with Dante, AV Pro Edge, Bluestream, and a number of other products that are being used there. So with that, I'll actually leave you with the video that we recently did. Here's a customer installer that we met at two trade shows, a trade show called CEDIA, and this is the most recent interaction we did with the customer at CEDIA. And here's what he has to say about Alta Labs.
I'm Josh Leviton with LV Pros out of Marietta, Georgia. We met the guys from Alta Labs back at ISC and met them at a previous CEDIA. And needless to say, they were adamant about us trying the product. And we finally tried it and have been blown away with the performance, with the ease of setup of the product. The build quality is excellent, and we've used all the other brands out there. We use, one of those other very popular brands out there that has a very big booth at the show. And, frankly, we're blown away with what these guys have done, and we've been able to walk into places where we've had issues in the past, just pop the gear in, get it going, and it just rocks and it works, and it's the throughput, as they say, is we're getting like Wi-Fi 7 throughput out of a Wi-Fi 6 product. So we can't wait to see what's coming next from these guys. I'm Josh Levin.
So with that, I do want to invite everybody. We do have not for resale opportunities available for those that haven't used our products before. Please reach out to EPCOM, your sales rep. They'll be able to get you discounted hardware to try out because we know once we get the products in your hand, you'll fall in love with it like many other installers, as you just heard from one just now. But we have, like I said, thousands of these access points, switches, routers deployed all over the world. And we're growing rapidly. So I want to invite you guys to join in and start using Alta Labs. And with that said, I am open to any questions, or Byron, if you have any questions, let me know.
Thank you, Tony, for this very interesting webinar.
You're welcome.
So, there's no any question. There's no question from my side, and so thanks again. And thank you everyone for joining this webinar today.
Thanks, guys.
So we wish you all a wonderful day, everyone.